Welcome everybody to the Bar of DeMOCKracy. It's Friday night and we're doing it right. There's only one way that we do things. We do things the fucking fam way. We're talking about democracy, M-O-C-K. We got 3 topics tonight. We don't know who our host's gonna be. Don't know who our hostess is gonna be. We just know the only thing we're gonna do is we're gonna smash the fash. Are y'all ready to meet the gang? Oh shit.
Hey. Yep.
How's it going, everybody?
It's going all right.
It's Friday night, and it's been a hell of a week.
Friday night, cold beer, yeah. It's going pretty well.
Yeah, last I checked, good God. This week's been, it started off with Jack Smith dropping dropping the Little Orphan Annie Dakota indictment.
Yeah, that happened.
That was a thing. And,
it's always a busy news cycle in this parallel timeline.
It really is. Yeah. The adventure never stops, truly. And we're getting closer and closer to election day.
Yep.
The fervor with which they dig in and double down every turn never ceases to amaze me.
Well, it's Roy Cohn 101, never admit defeat. And a big thing is there's so many people's identities that are dug into this to where if they're proven to be duped,
to it now.
They're just they're just going to melt.
They're welded to it.
They're just going to melt.
Well, their entire conception of reality is based around this false world being true. Yeah. And once that falls apart, yeah, we're going to see some major collapse from these people, and it's not going to be pretty.
It's been sustained and suspended by the fake ecosphere that they're surrounded by, which is basically funded by Russia and billionaires who seek to upend democracy for their own benefit.
Brainwashing, yeah.
Yeah.
They're giving reports, that there's Russian spies in the streets of Britain causing unrest. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Putin just announce with Iran today that they are the new world order? Like they literally said there's like a new order or some other nefarious title they give it that sounded like a wrestling faction.
Yeah, the quiet parts are just, they're not the quiet parts anymore.
No, it's I think it's they already have the chess pieces in place, so they can just be like, yeah, this is what we're doing. And then, they got how many Americans on board because, you saw the Good Liars asking them, who do you trust? No, it was Adam Mockler asking, who do you trust more? Kamala Harris or Putin, and how many of them said Putin? So
all of them, I think.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what they were shooting for, to make that propaganda mainstream. So mission accomplished, I guess, Vladdy.
Yeah, accomplished.
Well, let's reach into the chopper hopper and see who our host. I guess we have no hostesses, and we may have some hostesses join us later. But who our host for tonight will be. Out of the 4 of us, it will be...
Let's go. Hey, guys.
All right. Let's get a drum roll up in this motherfucker.
Yeah, we don't have soundboard on stages.
Yeah, no soundboards on stage, kids. Anyway, so... let's see who our host is. It looks like it's going to be Captain Terp. Holy mess.
All right, Terpy.
Was that my best look of surprise?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Saturday morning here still. Yeah, look, that's my best look of surprise. Here we go.
All right, so
for us then.
let's go ahead and dive into what's our first topic.
Our first topic is a question. How did they sneak these Chinese-made Bibles past these America First patriots? I ask you.
That is a good question. A question for the ages, even.
But he has been an absolute disaster.
It's always China, 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 and everything's coming from
manufacturing
China.
jobs
China,
of any
China.
American president
China
in
boots,
history.
China
Under
shoes,
Donald Trump, we saw
China Bibles, China hats,
80,000 Michigan jobs gone.
China water.
30,000 of those
Was
manufacturing
it ice
jobs
that was
gone.
Chinese or something?
Nearly 9,000 auto industry jobs gone.
That's awesome.
Trump's presidency
Governor
was an
Walz.
endless string
The part of the Bible that he's never looked
He
at. It's
actually
the
came
inside.
to warn when he
Yep.
first
God,
Yes,
yeah.
that was a great.
promised
That
you,
was a great day for
under a
yesterday.
Trump presidency, you won't lose a single plant. Technically, it wasn't a lie because he lost 6 of them, not one.
Ooh.
As they fact checked me, I got it right. They lost 6 of them. Look, he lost a GM transmission plant down the road. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. He promised to fight for union workers, repeatedly turned his back on him.
That's my question. How did all those Trump Bibles get past those American First patriots?
Yeah, I think I agree with Tim Walz. I think it's because they put it on the inside, which they're never going to look
It
at.
makes complete sense. Like, is it near the red writing? Because last I checked, they seem to be ignoring that part.
Yeah, that's what they think the red
point
means.
Yeah, they're like, the red means Republican,
Biden.
right?
And they want to point to Biden and say there's shady China deals going on while he's buying $3 Bibles out of China, and the American taxpayers are footing the bill for them in Oklahoma.
Yeah. And what I especially liked is how they made sure to really
legislated it.
specify that they needed it to be bound in leather, or they needed it to be bound in leather-like material.
Leather-looking material, and have the Constitution, or at least enough of it they're satisfied with.
Yeah,
The Bill of
completely.
Rights. But you have to put the Bill of Rights in the back, because if it's too close to the front, it's too close to the 10 Commandments, it might light on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
You have to make sure that most of the First Amendment is not on the first page.
well, you only put half of the First Amendment. You don't put the part in there that's about,
Not establishing a religion.
Yeah, exactly. Why would we talk about that? I mean, that come on, it's not. You just ignore the parts that are inconvenient anyway. You know that.
That'll lead you down a rabbit hole. When they put all the Constitution in there, how many of the amendments will they butcher and change?
It'll just be like half of the First Amendment, and then there'll be like the Second Amendment is to protect half of the First Amendment, and then that's like your MAGA Bill of Rights. Like, our ability to be able to use speech to undermine democracy is the right that we demand.
And I love the projection that education is indoctrination, when their indoctrination is the worst thing in the world.
I mean, there's fucking coloring books. It's like a PragerU guide to President Trump.
It's sickening. The cult of personality.
I truly don't get it.
Those coloring books, as much as you might think, aren't for children. They're just for maggots.
Okay, you'd like to think they were for children. How about that?
Exactly.
Oh, we'd like to. But
no, that's for MAGA, because they can't read.
Is that the trick, that they're just trying to send it to the quote unquote schools so it can go to the PTAs that's run by the MAGA Karens or the what are the ones in Florida? What are they called?
Moms for Hitler.
Casserole.
Assholes with casseroles. The minivan Taliban.
Minivan Taliban. I love that one.
Twatsies.
Yes.
Yeah, this isn't going to be our usual length of our episode because we got a hard out because our good friend Tony Michaels is going to be on the 5-8 with Greg Oliar and LB tonight.
Yep.
And if you're listening, check out the Discord. We'll be streaming it there too. We'll be chatting together.
Yep.
So feel free to join us.
Yeah, I'll be throwing it on this. I'll be probably streaming it up onto this Twitch channel. So that way,
great conversation over there.
We can go ahead and get as many eyes on it as possible for them.
Yeah.
Always a good Friday night party with the fam.
I'm telling you. Well, since we are unfortunately going to be having to scoot right along, let's go ahead and move to our second topic, shall we?
We can do that.
All right. What do we got, Terp? Let's see.
So it turns out this week, the real threat to democracy is stupid people.
Stupid
Yes,
people.
Really? Stupid people.
Who would say something like that? Let's find out.
Who would have thought?
You see, that's the real threat to democracy, stupid people. That's the threat. Our biggest threat to democracy is stupid people.
Yeah.
You see, that's the real threat to democracy, stupid people. That's the threat. Our biggest threat to democracy is stupid people.
For once, I have to agree
That's
with
the stop
Trump.
clock moment. That's the stop clock moment.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? I was completely not expecting him to, well, to tell the truth, quite honestly, about not only him, but his entire Project 2025 staff of flying monkeys.
Yeah. And taint garglers.
Yeah, I gotta say, that's like one of the few times I've ever had to agree with Cantaloupe Caligula there. Like,
well, President Projection usually is lying his ass off every single time that he speaks, but I guess Terp, bravo choosing, because it's not often that we hear Trump speak truth to power. So I think that everybody is in for
nuggets out.
Yeah. It's really like watching a shooting star, catching a shooting star.
Yeah. Or a shark on Mike. We've done that 3 times already this week, and I think 3 of them were from the one speech.
Or a shark knocking on your door.
with a battery.
This goes out to all the sharks with batteries showing up at your door.
The battery salesman.
No, I'm likening his rants to somewhat akin to an illiterate, moronic, non-musical version of "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Yeah,
It's all the immigrants
batteries
coming for you, coming for your dogs. We didn't let the immigrants in. Oh my God!
We didn't close the border because Trump said to sink the bill. I wonder if we'll get a copyright for that.
I don't know.
I've been putting it out there. I think it'll take traction.
It's just not often that you genuinely hear Trump say something that's so not just poignantly truthful, but also can be made into a Harris ad.
Right?
Like, all it has to say is, our democracy is under threat from stupid people. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just like $100,000 gold watch, it's right twice a day.
Yeah, exactly.
It can be right all day, every day, if it never arrives.
Yeah, that too.
That's true. Yeah.
Money laundering, anyone?
Oh,
How many rubles does it cost? That's my question.
I don't know.
Dave,
know the exchange
maybe
rate.
Dave
It's pretty
Rubles can
terrible,
tell
right?
us.
Maybe. Or Tim Poo.
Hey.
Or tell us him.
I think I've said it on a prior episode, but I hate to chew my food twice, but you know, I love the fact that Tim Pool can't sign his name without writing Tim Poo because he shat himself live on air when he was interviewing Don Jr. I can't.
Wobbling out of the studio and just like, God damn it. Ah.
He's like, this is my big moment. I finally get to interview. Speaking of that, yeah, dude. Speaking of that, didn't Trump didn't he crack Trouser Wind on the stage the other day? Oh, hey, Mighty Librarian.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, he did that just yesterday. Yeah, twice in that one speech, and 3 times this week. Yes.
Just terrible.
I noted one of them was a distinct twister. Like, you know, when he stands at the left hand, he twists it out.
He had to squeeze it out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he doesn't squeeze. He twists it out, and the other two were moments where he definitely tried to cover it up with words, but his inflection of his vocal told me he was not modulating his diaphragm properly because he was concentrating on something else.
You know, it's completely off the subject. Speaking of Twister, though, did y'all see when Hurricane Milton hit and that water spout went over that bridge where those 2 special first response vehicles were just parked there? And either the guys or gals that were in there had the ride of their life and they had a blast and they have a story, or well, speaking of needing to change things, man,
Just a clean set over here.
Just, I mean, like, they were this far from the sea. You just get blown the fuck on in. And now there's gators in the water. Like, did you see those videos? There was not only these people were running through the water to jump into their vehicle, and there's like instantly like a gator snapping at their tire, which is terrifying. But also this dude there's a TikTok where he just opened the door to his kitchen and there's just a giant gator just chilling in there. And then the TikTok ends.
Hell no. Hell no. That's why I don't live in Florida. Well,
Yeah.
one of many.
There's a lot of very
But they
angry,
got
displaced wildlife.
There is the
Not living in Florida.
snakes, because some asshole really kept releasing pythons. There's now a python problem. I'm glad that they're not like the poisonous kind, but they'll kill a dog, like a small dog. Like,
They have a problem with Burmese pythons being overpopulated, and it's killed, I believe, over 90% of the fur-bearing animals, the small ones. Yeah, it's a huge problem.
Yeah, that's why they've been paying
They have
Florida
contests
man
every
to
year.
go into the Everglades and bring snakes out.
They
they have
literally pay
contests
you,
every year to find the largest one.
they pay you by the foot to kill them.
Fruit
Yeah.
by the foot.
Yeah, right?
Fash by the foot? What?
Fash by the foot. Well, not all pythons.
Speaking of snakes,
Not all pythons are fash.
You'll thank me for this later. If you ever are bored, go on YouTube and search for mongoose versus mongoose versus cobra.
Oh yeah, Ricky Tikki Tavi.
You'll get lost. You'll get lost in a hole for. Oh, hello, doggy.
It's like, I believe I saw an animated feature about this once.
Also, fighting koalas is another good one too. You don't expect the sound.
Oh my god!
Sound like zombies.
Speaking of animal videos, I found the cutest video. You can find it. It's somebody attached a camera to a cat and let the cat just go, like be a cat.
Yeah.
And you can see like the social interaction and like the hierarchy of like his little clique. If you like pet videos, I can't recommend it enough. It's got like 7 million views. It's just that cute.
Chilling.
Astounding.
Oh, speaking of videos, I don't know how this is connected.
It's dive bar. Nothing is connected.
Nothing's connected.
I went outside and I saw something horrific at my neighbor's house.
Oh?
I threw up in my mouth. It was so horrific.
I'm sorry to hear that.
A Trump sign.
Ew.
He's a veteran too. He's a retired vet on disability. And I'm just like, you fucking idiot.
Wait, did you say he's a Confederate?
Do you just really not like your disability benefits?
Yeah, no, he's a vet on disability.
Yeah.
Like, don't look at the VA section. They probably think it's like, well, I thought he was smarter than that. I really did. And here's another kicker. He has a son who is high functioning autistic, but his son can't live on his own. And once a year, the cops are at their house because his son's a big dude, okay? Son's a big dude. His son does something like that requires like law enforcement to get involved every year, something. Nice enough dude, I would have never suspected he was a Trump sign. But yeah, I saw the Trump sign, I'm like, gross. What in the actual
Yeah.
Just go slip a small section of Project 2025 that says they want to shut down the VA benefits and just slip that in his mailbox. Just anonymously.
Yeah, you have a printer. You can make a brochure.
Well, yeah, he'll know it's me that does it. Like, because he has a whole security system. Like, I mean, everybody has doorbell.
Oh, then yeah, just walk up and hand it to him.
Yeah. But
I'm giving this to you because I care.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and you know what's crazy? Like, I don't want to believe we're a divided nation, so I just refuse to believe Trump is that popular. Don't think he's definitely not as popular as he was in 2016.
No.
But if you drive around,
the media have needed him. The media have needed him to remain viable up until November the 5th.
Yeah.
If you just drive around just drive around my block, and it's like every other house is Harris Trump, Harris Trump. Like, you drive by my daughter's school, there's like 2 Trump signs, 2 Harris signs, and like, oh, do you guys remember me telling you about the guy across from the university who has like 5 Trump signs, like all in a row? He added more signs. He's doing work.
The grift continues.
It's that Biden economy.
Let him add as many as he wants to waste his money on. He's only got 1 vote.
They spill into the neighbors. I've never seen anybody actually live in that house, which is shocking.
It's not a cult.
That's like a really nice. It's not a really nice neighborhood behind the college. Like, there's a lot of really nice homes. I think it's spilled. I don't think anybody lives there, or they don't care, or they're a Trump supporter themselves. But I refuse to believe 2 people who feel it necessary to put the same fucking sign back to back to back. I'll take a picture of it. I'll take a picture of it for y'all so you can understand what I'm dealing with. So, like, it's all like the same Trump ban sign, like bam, 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 like 5 in a row. And then it's the Kamala high taxes, Trump low taxes, like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Like, so I think, I don't know. Yeah. Just in case you weren't sure if he's a Trump supporter, he added more signs.
back in 2020, my uncle, he lives out of town, so he's got a property. He made a full 4 foot by 8 foot plywood sheet sign that he painted himself. Trump. Yeah. He hasn't put it back up though. That's the funny thing. He still has it. I've seen it in his garage, but he hasn't put it up this year. It's like, I wonder why.
It's
I
almost
ordered a new sign. I should have gotten it.
It's almost like they're ashamed of supporting him.
I know it's crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The shame's sinking through to a few of them, maybe. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of TikToks of ex-Trumps, ex-MAGA, talking about their experience. And they provide proof. I've never really dug far enough because I don't care. All right, I'll take your word for it. You're for a MAGA. And even if you're not, I like the propaganda idea. So, but one guy was genuinely crying about some of the policies that he supported. And it's
yeah, when they realize they've been brainwashed, it's a self-realization. They have to come to terms with a lot of things that are deeply personal.
And it happens. There's a moment, from what one woman said, there's a moment where it just kind of you realize how alone you can be. Because she's in Alabama, so all her whole family is MAGA. Her friends are MAGA. Her hairstyle, so she's really feeling isolated and alone. That's a lot of the reason why people can't want to. It's a hard thing to go against your own family. It's not easy. That's why a lot of people stay within cults, and because they don't want to lose their family. They don't want to lose their circle. But she said that other people told her that there would be this moment where you realize how isolating it is, and just the gravity of everything. And she was in that moment in that TikTok. It's really heartbreaking. I really wish I could have given her a hug. And, I have personal, but I really wanted to give her a hug. She just looks so
anybody that's ever come out of a cult or really any religion that's somewhat cult-like. Yeah, they know what it feels like right in that moment where you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, you have to be willing to have the moment, though. You have to be willing to go, I was wrong. And a lot of MAGA just has the problem where they can't do it. Tina Peters is a great fucking example. If we want to go ahead and talk about someone who will cling to the lie to the very end, till a judge literally has to say, you lie as easily as you breathe.
Well, she's part sociopathic. I don't think she's the typical MAGA person. It's a very human thing to not want to admit. It's not easy to admit. It really goes against your own, I don't know if it's biological, but
there's not wanting to admit it, but then there's being in absolute denial.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And these people are in abject denial. And they figure that deny, deflect will work all the way to the court. And unfortunately, they're finding out the hard way. The right way.
When they get, when they get back into a corner in arguments, oh, you'll see. I'll be proven right. So you have nothing, dude. You just admitted that I just wasted 20 minutes arguing with you and giving you the facts because you have fucking nothing. And it's that doesn't work in court. You'll see. It's I will. Show it to me. Oh, you don't have it? Get the fuck out of court.
No.
They deny facts when presented, and it's part of their constitution mentally.
Yeah. Well, it's just like when Rudy Giuliani brought all the cases, the election fraud cases that he didn't have any evidence for. There's transcripts where he told a judge, oh, these claims aren't based on evidence. And the judge was just like, why are you here then? You're wasting my time. Why are you here? You have no evidence.
Speaking of that, J.D. Vance just did an interview where he was asked 5 times in a row, did Trump lose the election?
Yeah.
And he could not just give the straight answer. And what it's really doing is it's showing that they have absolutely no plans of any kind of concession, because every time that they're pressed on it.
Yeah.
That interview was so good because JD Vance is also so stupid that he literally gave away his deflection technique in one of his answers. It's like, no, I answered your question with a question. Now answer my question. It's like, dude, you're not supposed to say that out loud. That's the technique. You're not supposed to like say that you're doing that. You breathe.
Well, and the thing
is one of the best dressed members of the Sub 80 Club.
The thing that really stuck out to me was where he was like, yeah, I realize that you guys have your little response back about, 60 some courts didn't take it up. It's like, yes, that's called like evidence. That's called those are called verdicts. Like, I realize that they're inconvenient for you, but that doesn't mean that they're not real just because you don't want them to be.
It's not just evidence, it's primary sourced evidence. Like, it's a court document. Somebody went to a court and filed all this stuff. Like, you can't just do that. And I really
just
wish,
say stuff.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that I teach my daughter this kind of stuff, because they don't teach this kind of stuff anymore. I mean, that's a whole other... Our education system is so fucked. But, like, if there's a kid that like, take it upon yourself, teach them basic civics, because people don't realize, grown-ups don't even realize how like powerful, like, it's a court. You cannot just go to a court and tell them some bullshit.
No, that's not how that works.
That alone is illegal.
You're a cop.
Try doing that as a regular person. Try giving a court some bullshit. It doesn't work.
Tell us how that works out.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I absolutely love when MAGA goes to court, because it's the one place where their fucking tactics they go to die unless they have a lawyer who's trying to do these tactics. And if there's a judge halfway's worth their salt, they're not going to let that Roy Cohn bullshit fly.
Yeah, definitely not.
Correct.
So this moves us to our third topic now, Terp.
Oh, hey, this is a more interesting one, and I'm going to say somewhat lighthearted for now, because look, based on the Cybertruck and the Cyber Semi, are we watching this? Is this prelude to iRobot or Terminator here?
What is going on with this mess? This is insanity.
Elon's an idiot.
I've told many people, he is this far away from buying a volcanic island.
Sort of down. And then we've
in the most unironic
year after year
coming out of Dr. Evil.
So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you could have your own personal R2-D2 C-3PO.
Did Elon, Elon had sex with every single one of those before they left the manufacturing line.
Something like,
that's a selling point.
Yeah, they come pre-lubed.
It better be self-cleaning, because MAGA's lazy as fuck.
I want to highlight 3 words in the pitch there. Anything you want.
to $30,000 long term.
I'm gonna go with
$20,000.
Yeah, when he says anything you want, he means you can teach it to be a security force if you want, which is terrifying.
You can train it to be a special friend.
Whatever.
Well, the thing that really, the thing that say he's just a friend. The thing that really blew my mind about it was when he said that you can have it babysit your children. Now, do you want to end up with a total wire monkey effect? You know what I'm talking about by that? There was an experiment done way back in the day where monkeys they had one group where it was an actual mother and raised and nurtured the children and how they turned out. And then there was one group where there was not an actual mother, but just a wire. It was in a monkey shape, and they associated that as their parent. But because they got none of the emotional nurturing or love or anything, they ended up like going wacko and on each other because there was none of
That's not
that.
surprising.
And so, yeah, I mean, if you get iRobot to be your babysitter, you're asking for some total wire monkey children.
Yeah, it would have to show it, like, it would have to be like some serious artificial intelligence that can at least mimic care, like, and primary care. Like, it can't just be like providing basic needs. I don't trust. I'm sorry, just on a basic needs. Like, I don't trust.
I think this is far more Grok meets Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, like, I wouldn't trust. If it was an Apple robot, I would trust it. I would definitely trust it. But if it's Elon's robot, that thing is going to try to feed the kid like gasoline or like, just not thinking it was like, like it's because he's such an idiot when it comes to programming.
The moment that Skynet becomes self-aware.
And one day the face is going to glow red and it's not going to be under your control anymore. And it's going to be iRobot.
I'm pretty sure that Emperor Palpatine has an order that would make sure about this.
Emperor Palpatine or the Tangerine Palpatine?
Tangerine Palpatine, I'm sure already. Like, I don't know, it's probably something like Bigly Winner or something, and then it just activates and just becomes like the lyrics to Iron Man by Black Sabbath.
Can we just pivot like a little bit while on the Cybertruck topic?
By all means.
What is Elon thinking he's going to jail for?
Election interference, maybe?
I don't know. I don't know.
A little bit of money laundering, a little bit of interference.
Yeah.
A little bit of dealing with what is it called when you are dealing with a foreign country?
Espionage?
Unregistered foreign agent. That's what it is.
Foreign Agent Registration Act.
Yep.
Is that even a bush-dwelling Aussie knows that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, did he have anything to do with that bank that just paid an almost $2 billion fine for money laundering?
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows there?
I just don't know.
Or maybe he's just going to he thinks he's going to jail because the Cybertruck was that bad.
I'd like to think that it probably has to do with the fact that the Saudis gave him a bunch of money to buy Twitter.
And as you can see, we started with someone in
and they're going to find out who connected them together.
And we've
speaking of the Middle East,
year after year,
Putin. Now Trump's in a dilemma now, or he will be. Putin is now in this alliance with Iran.
Yeah, we were just talking about the axis of evil that he gladly was talking about.
So now he has a problem. I'm sorry I wasn't here for that.
No, by all means.
How does he choose? Because now Putin, what is he going to be BFF with Iran now too? Because his BFF is friends with Iran.
They're going to do everything back behind the scenes in the same way they have with Netanyahu.
Yeah.
And somebody reminded me, not me personally, I saw it on one of the pundit shows. Trump went ballistic when I think it was Obama talked to somebody. It wasn't any official capacity. I think Obama was just in London, and I think he was talking to the English Prime Minister because he's an ex-president, and that's what political figures do. They shake hands and say hello and talk political things. He went ballistic over that, and he's all meeting with Netanyahu and Putin and all that.
It's like the Logan Act doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I heard someone mention it either earlier today or yesterday that it's never successfully been prosecuted since the 1800s. So maybe it needs to be revisited.
These need to because it's so not fair that people can do these minor things and get serious jail time for it. And then
low-level breaches by internal staffers can result in,
and then
in significant jail sentences, while this fucking clown...
Yeah. I mean, come on. Like, I know that's not how our justice system works, and thank God it doesn't work like that. But, like, come on. You can't tell me something ain't, like, everything's 100% kosher with Trump meeting with all these people. Like,
no, it's not. And the Supreme Court is needing to be cleaned out.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I forgot where I saw this. You all might have seen it too. But like, someone made a really good point on expanding the Supreme Court. We've had 9 justices for really long, for like well over 100 years. And it's almost not representative or reflective of like the population of like, not just like the ethnic diversity of this, but like the number, you know, just people wise. So I thought that was interesting.
Are layered, you end up with an uneven number of circuits distributed or attributed to each of the justices, because there's 13 circuit courts and 9 justices. So there's an unequal distribution. If there are a simple balance of 13 circuit courts and 13 justices.
Yeah, that makes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
like, there's
how about
no
the FBI?
stipulation.
Oh, so go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to make a, like, so many people are like, oh, the Constitution. It's actually really vague about the Supreme Court. All it really says,
it is, and
even a good lawyer could argue about the lifetime of. It doesn't say lifetime appointment. It says, I forgot the exact wording of it. Like, a good lawyer could like argue that it doesn't necessarily mean a lifetime, but that's way hard. It's very vague what they mean. They give out the framework of a federal judiciary, Supreme Court being the highest one, and it should be. It doesn't even say that it has to be an odd number, unless I just follow on that.
I mean, it was 8 for like 14 months because the Republicans blocked a new guy.
Yeah.
Actually. Look at
and
this.
Something else that's not brought up very much.
Constitution.
Something else that's not brought up very much is the Supreme Court only has original jurisdiction in cases where a state is a party or that involve other countries or ambassadors. Okay. Other than that, they can be stripped. They can be stripped of their authority by Congress.
This is what it says about the Supreme Court. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges both of the Supreme Court and inferior courts shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall at stated times receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished during their continuance service. Then it goes into the types of cases and done talking about the Supreme Court right there.
Yeah, one of those is what I was saying, is that, yeah, the only on cases where they have original jurisdiction does the Supreme Court actually have jurisdiction under the Constitution. Otherwise, it's provided by Congress. Congress can actually make laws and say the courts have no right to interpret these laws. They can completely strip the courts of their power if they want to.
Oh, we'd need a Congress doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they won't even fucking end the filibuster.
Exactly.
They won't do their job. Well, Republicans won't do their job.
I was talking about this on the ladies' room, that like of all the provision, like the minority voices are too represented in government. Like, so let's take the states of Wyoming, Idaho, North Dakota, South Dakota. 4 states. Probably still doesn't equal the population of like Los Angeles or New York.
Not even fucking
Phoenix
close.
Or Tallahassee.
Yeah.
And so, like, all right, I can deal with the Senate, okay, you know, gives more equal representation for Wyoming than it does California. Fine. But then you have the filibuster. Oh, the minority voice. It's a minority voice for a reason. There's not that many of them. You already get the Senate. You already have the Electoral College, which really wasn't intended to be a minority voice counter to the majority. But I digress.
Actions for Republicans.
Like, the filibuster, okay, and I could even deal with the filibuster, but you can't just like say filibuster and then that make it a legit like you gotta talk and talk and talk like the whole
Yeah, you can't just send the email in. You gotta do like Strom Thurmond and stand there and piss in a bucket.
That's right.
Waste the time.
Get a diaper and start talking.
Yeah.
They can just borrow
You're
one
that
from Trump's
passionate.
stash. That's why he's got so many flies around him constantly. And Obama had to keep from fucking wrecking him and let the crowd do it himself.
I almost started tearing up hearing part of his speech. That was really like, wow.
Yeah, dude can talk, man. Dude can talk.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen about 8 or 9 clips of it, and every one of them, if it had been taken as a highlight from a speech, I would have gone, yeah, that's a fitting highlight. That's a great passage. But 7 or 8 from the same clip from the same speech, and I know there's a good 40 minutes between all those parts that I saw, so it was worth watching.
I like the one. There was one part where he was legitimately angry, where he was talking about Trump's constant lying. He's like, "I don't want you to applaud. No, like this is unacceptable." Like it's like he was legit angry.
And he was shortly after that, when he was going into when did this become okay?
Yeah.
Like it really seemed like he was kind of on the verge of tears. Stop, dog. Gosh.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think he's mad that it's like he did such a good job, and then this shit heap followed him up.
Well, he's like, of course he got a great economy because I rescued it from the mess that the Republicans gave me. And then what did he do?
Yeah, his calling out of that was poignant.
Mm-hmm. And that needed to be pointed out.
I just think Obama did a little bit too good a job of restraining his speech regarding Trump for a little bit too long.
He's out of fucks to give. He's out of fucks to give.
I think he had a few too many in the bucket to begin with. Like he
had some to spare.
That bucket could have been emptied like 12 months before.
Yeah. Well, I think what it is genuinely is he tried to be as statesman-like as possible till he gets to the point where he just like, now you're politicizing hurricane relief. Like I'm done being cordial about this shit. The only thing that seems to get under your skin is mockery. And
well, while Trump was in office, Obama was the typical statesman and did the right thing and did not comment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He did the right thing and did not comment. And basically, when Trump left office and did the exact opposite, it's hard not to say, well, we've got to fight fire with fire at some point. Because otherwise, his garbage fills the entire space. And that's been the plan from the word go. To flood the zone with shit. And they know that's the Russians' plan. We know that's the Russians' plan, but they don't recognize it. They just keep chugging that Kool-Aid.
I knew that from the beginning because I saw an interview with Gary Kasparov. He was like a chess champion, and he's one of the people who ran against Putin one time. That's why he lives in New York now, not Russia anymore. He ran against Putin. And anyway, he said that. He's like, back in 2016 or 2017, he's like, this is what they do. It's the constant lying. It's to wear you down. At some point, it's like you just give up.
Well,
There's so many lies.
You don't know what's reality. You don't know unless you're a news junkie like us. You know what I mean? Like,
it's to wear down your critical thinking faculties so that you just give up and it's like, I don't know anymore.
And you just listen to what they say.
That's why it's so important for people like us and Tony and anybody else who like is perpetually doing shit to, our small little part to fight this thing is to self-care so you don't burn out. Don't just throw your hands in there and it's like, fine, fuck, done. Like, because it's so easy to get overwhelmed and like
it is frustrating.
It's very frustrating. A lot. I feel like I'm often emptying an ocean with a bathroom paper cup. Not the plastic kind that you can reuse once more, like a paper
The
one that
WetEx.
disintegrates.
I used to feel that way until Project 2025 started being spoken from behind the podium.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with everything you were just saying, Allison.
Okay. So yeah, I can't. Going back to the Elon thing, he's been doing like product introductions for long enough now, and he still doesn't get better at it.
Oh no. He's still he's still the most illegal alien there is.
We're sitting here talking about how well Kamala and Tim have gotten better within 2 months, and these guys have been doing it for years, and they're still just getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the reason she wasn't doing interviews at first, right? You know, because she didn't know until that day that she was going to be running for president. So she had to get all of that shit together, all of her, policy proposals and everything.
Well, between... Go ahead.
Yeah. It takes more than 2 months. They did it in 2 months. It normally takes a lot longer than that.
Well, I mean, they really had a turnkey operation where they had everything set up, for Biden field offices and everything. They really just had to, just kind of move it to where it was Harris. But another thing is she was playing rock star, and I really appreciate this. And what I mean by that is she's not just showing up doing every piddly little pissy interview. She's selling out arenas, and then she's doing big things, Howard Stern, 60 Minutes, shit like
Howard Stern
Trump
was smart.
And here's the thing is J.D. Vance and Trump and all of them have been saying, well, she hasn't been taking important questions. She's been ducking reporters, because the moment that she does anything like that, they find some little flaw that she said or did, and they immediately turn it into content. And that's what they want. They want to keep goading her to go make content so that they can make content off of that. And she's like, no. You can film me at my rallies, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, I was listening to Trump's speech today, and he went, and in the same breath, he went, they edited her interview, but they cut out my thing that I was saying.
I love how he always says that she needs to use a teleprompter, and he doesn't need a teleprompter while using a teleprompter.
While using, that's the best part of it.
I love it. It's just like, don't believe your lying eyes.
It's the irony burrito.
So what's going on in the chat before we close this out?
Oh, yeah. The chat.
Yeah, see, we don't need teleprompters. This show is all live. Yeah.
We just say what's in our heads.
There's a chat.
And the voices tell us.
We just put the liquid funny down our neck.
Shout out to Erica and Dusty hanging out in the Discord chat with us. If you're in Discord, you can find us. We're in there. Who's in Twitch? I'm not looking at Twitch today, guys. Sorry.
I don't have Twitch open either.
Shuby, Vix, Amethyst.
Oh, hey, I see Starlene. Thank you for making it safely through the hurricane. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All the love from the fam.
Did you find any gators in your pool?
Don't go in your pool till you know there aren't any gators.
It was his kitchen. It was his fucking kitchen. Just what the fuck, dude? Like, you just go and open your. Let's just milk this situation, shall we? It's been raining torrentially. You're hungry. You want a snack. You've been, hoping you don't drown. All you want is a Pop-Tart. You open the door and there's a goddamn apex predator right beside your refrigerator.
Oh, see, I thought you were going a different direction with that. I was thinking, dude, it's Florida. Gators can be in the kitchen, gator nuggets.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I guess they say in Florida, see that water? Yeah.
Assume there's
exactly. Exactly. And
that's I think that the whole hurricane in Florida this week was the FAFO moment for much of MAGA, especially on the internet. Mm-hmm. First, it was Jewish space lasers creating the hurricane, and then it completely collapsed once it hit Florida, as per projections.
As per.
And they went, oh, we're okay then?
And then it was like, what else did they say was causing it? Like HARP, or just like they're flying airplanes somehow. I don't know what they thought.
And yet again, we've already said earlier that Trump was actually correct on something, although it's his own fucking stupidity. Did DeSantis do something like half right by just telling Kamala, like, yeah, we got it, we're fine, because we know what's coming. Nothing.
Yeah,
nothing too bad. They have damage. They're handling it.
Oh yeah. Like there's a motorcycle streamer that I like to watch, and he lives in Tampa, and he did a video today. He was riding around after the storm, and yeah, there's trees down everywhere. There's streets that are flooded. They're damaged. There's some damage there, but it's not nearly as bad as what they thought it was going to be.
Like, the thing about the whole like gators in the water thing that really freaked me out is because, you know, they go to the bottom and just chill there during the hurricane. Like, they're just like, okay, it's safe down here, it's cool. But then like, you know, I'm looking through German news, and it's even being like, you know, you see the word like Alligatorin, you're like, oh, they're even warning in Germany that you need to ensure that you stay the fuck out of the water in Tampa.
What's the German word for meth?
For meth?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, actually, if I was to recall the World War II German meth, there was a special name for it. I cannot quite remember.
Meth is universal.
I mean, there's just benzos, but I mean, but enough about Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, the stuff they gave the Nazis was called Pervitin.
Okay, yeah,
Do
thank
you
you,
know-
thank you.
That's right. Yep.
Do you know, did you all see Don't Look Up, that movie on Netflix?
I've heard of it.
A while
I
ago?
know the
Okay.
plot.
Well, it's basically like a MAGA situation. Like, you can see that there's a danger right there, but like, and so Don't Look Up is what the MAGA side would say, because you can see the comet coming right at the Earth, right? Well, anyway, they have this like Elon Musk type. They want, instead of like destroying the comet when it's like months away and breaking it up, this Elon Musk figure who lost the Gutenberg Bible, tell me that's not something that he would do. Buy the Gutenberg Bible and lose it. You really should see it. It's a hilarious but like really sour movie, because it's like, it'll just remind you of the state of affairs here. But anyway, so this Elon Musk type figure is like, we're gonna land our little probes on the comet and get all the minerals out of it, so we have, and then it becomes we're pro comet for the jobs, or we're anti comet. Like it's like this. It's just like U.S. politics.
They just got to find a way to create kernels of disturbance in any possible way.
Yeah. So anyway, the whole point of me going through that is, Jordan Peterson reminds me of the dude from Don't Look Up. the guy who wants to land all the probe things. And I won't tell you the end, because you should. I'm surprised y'all really haven't.
That dude lost his ever-loving shit after, like, during COVID. Like, beforehand, he would just tell you to clean your room in the most racist way possible.
Yeah, he wasn't that weird before, and then COVID happened, and it's like
both him and Russell Brand lost it. They started getting that weird COVID money.
Oh,
I don't think full hold my pants and my beer.
Russell Brand knows what he's a grifter.
Oh yeah,
you can see the transition from his first few YouTube videos, and then he realizes that, hey, if I talk like MAGA, I make a lot more money. So, like, you can see his experimentation of,
and it doesn't even require any fact. He can just say shit.
He's a complete
comes in his head and he throws it up. Like,
yeah, tell me, it throws it up all right.
That's what all those the left people are doing. The money's good on the other side. Wait to see Anna Kasparian cashing in on it.
Anna Kasparian and Jimmy Dore need to start a fucking program. And that concludes episode 24 of Bar of DeMOCKracy.
This fucking crazy timeline.
I'm telling you.
How do we...
Fans.
All right, somebody study quantum physics so we could jump to the timeline where Hillary won.
Can we please, like, just...
We'll hold hands friends and hope for the best that we all end up in.
Flux capacitor fluxing.
Flux capacitor.
All right.
America, let's just get this one right.
Remember, check your registration. We got one shot to do this.
And vote.
We got this. Make sure that you vote. We're going to make it too big to rig, gang. And if you give a good goddamn about your democracy, make sure you catch the Tony Michaels podcast every single day. And until then, we will see you crazy kids later.
Bye,
Surf's up,
friends.
motherfuckers.